Imagine New York City. It is a sprawling metropolis of millions of people, constant activity, and endless energy. Every single minute, this city produces tons of trash. Wrappers, fumes, industrial waste. Now, ask yourself, what would happen if the sanitation workers suddenly went on strike? Not just for a day, but forever? The streets would clog. The smell would become unbearable. Disease would spread. The city would eventually collapse under the weight of its own filth. Your brain is exactly like that city. It is the most energy-intensive object in the known universe. Despite weighing only 3 pounds, it consumes 20% of your body's total energy. And just like a city, this massive energy consumption creates massive amounts of waste. For centuries, scientists believed a dangerous lie. They thought the brain was the only organ in the body that didn't have a cleaning crew. We live in a culture that wears sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. We look up to the CEO who sleeps 4 hours a night. We tell ourselves, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But biological reality has a harsh rebuttal. If you adopt that mindset, you will get to that destination much faster than you planned. While you are awake, your brain is busy processing information, moving muscles, and keeping you alive. It is too busy to clean itself. It pushes the trash aside, letting it accumulate in the corners. It waits for a specific signal, a signal that only comes when you lose consciousness. Tonight, we are going to dive deep inside the skull to reveal a hidden infrastructure, a secret plumbing system that saves your life every single night, and we will see what happens when you lock the doors and don't let the cleaners in. To understand the solution, we must first understand the problem. Why do you feel tired right now? Why do your eyelids feel heavy? It is not just boredom. It is chemistry. Every moment you are awake, your neurons are burning a fuel called ATP. When the fuel is burned, it leaves behind a chemical ash called adenosine. Think of adenosine as the exhaust fumes from your car. From the moment you opened your eyes this morning, this chemical ash has been slowly building up in your bloodstream. It floats through your brain and searches for specific parking spots called receptors. When adenosine docks into these receptors, it sends a powerful command to your nervous system: slow down. Reduce activity. Sleep. It is a biological pressure valve that tightens with every hour you stay awake. Now, enter the world's most popular psychoactive drug, caffeine. Most people think caffeine gives you energy. This is scientifically false. Caffeine does not give you energy. It borrows it. Here is the trick: the caffeine molecule looks almost identical to the adenosine molecule. It is a master of disguise. When it enters your brain, it rushes to those receptors and blocks them. It jams the keyhole. The adenosine tries to dock, but it can't get in, so you feel alert. The signal of tiredness is muted. But here is the danger: the factory is still running. The adenosine is still being produced. It is piling up behind the caffeine wall like a massive flood of water below the dam. When the river finally processes the caffeine and the wall disappears, the flood hits you all at once. This is the infamous caffeine crash. You aren't just tired. You are paying back a high-interest loan. For decades, medical textbooks said the brain had no lymphatic system to clear waste. It remained a mystery. Until 2012. When a neuroscientist named Megan Nettergaard made a discovery that shook the scientific world. She looked into the brain of a sleeping mouse and saw something impossible. The brain was physically changing shape. She discovered that the brain has a unique, hidden set of pipes that piggyback on your blood vessels. She named it the glymphatic system, a combination of glia cells and lymphatic. The system is the night janitor. It is a high-pressure dishwasher that is programmed to turn on only when the conscious mind shuts off. It was hiding in plain sight for centuries, simply because no one looked closely enough at a sleeping brain. Here is the most visual part of the process. When you enter deep, non-REM sleep, your brain cells, the neurons and the glia, do something extraordinary. They shrink. They contract in size by up to 60%. Imagine a dense, crowded forest where the trees suddenly become skinny, creating wide, open paths between them. This creates space. Massive space. Once these channels open, cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, rushes in. This isn't just a gentle trickle. It is a rapid, rhythmic tide. It sweeps through the brain tissue, hunting for the metabolic toxins we talked about earlier. It grabs the adenosine, the proteins, and the waste, and flushes them down into the circulatory system to be removed by the liver. It is a literal brainwash, but this cleaning process requires time. Sleep is not a uniform block of blackness. It is a complex architecture of cycles. First, you descend into the deep, slow-wave sleep. This is where the physical cleaning happens. This is where the dishwasher runs. Then, you ascend into REM, rapid eye movement sleep. This is where dreams happen. During REM, the physical cleaning stops, and the emotional processing begins. Your brain takes the memories of the day, the stress, the arguments, the fears, and diffuses them. It is overnight therapy. If you sleep for only 6 hours, you are not just losing 2 hours of rest. You are disproportionately cutting off your REM sleep, which happens mostly in the morning hours. You wake up physically cleaned, perhaps, but emotionally unresolved and anxious. So, what happens if the dishwasher breaks? What happens if you chronically deprive yourself of sleep? The waste stays. Among the toxins your brain produces, there is one that is particularly dangerous. It is a sticky protein called beta amyloid. In a healthy sleeper, beta amyloid is flushed away every single night, but in a sleep-deprived brain, it remains. It settles in the spaces between your neurons. Over time, it hardens. It starts to clump together, forming what we call amyloid plaques. Think of it like tar pouring into the delicate machinery of a Swiss watch. It gums up the gears. It blocks the communication signals. The neurons, unable to talk to each other, begin to wither and die. This buildup of beta amyloid plaques is not just a random occurrence. It is the primary anatomical hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. For years, we wondered why dementia rates were skyrocketing. Now, the link is undeniable. We used to think that Alzheimer's caused sleep issues, but the new science suggests the reverse is also true. Poor sleep is a causal factor in the development of Alzheimer's. Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan were both famous for bragging about sleeping only 4 to 5 hours a night. Both of them developed severe Alzheimer's disease. This is a terrifying realization, but it is also empowering. It means that prioritizing sleep is the single most effective thing you can do to protect your future mind. Sleep is your insurance policy. If sleep is so vital, why is it so hard to get? Why do we toss and turn? The answer lies in a mismatch between our ancient biology and our modern technology. For millions of years, humans evolved with only one source of blue light, the sun. When the sun went down, the blue light vanished. This was the signal for our pineal gland to release melatonin, the hormone of darkness. Melatonin is the starter pistol for the sleep race. It tells every cell in your body that it is time to recover. But today, we have conquered the night. We carry miniature suns in our pockets. The LED screen of your smartphone emits a potent spike of blue light that hits your retina and tricks your brain into believing it is still 12 p.m. When you scroll through social media at 11 p.m., you are chemically castrating your melatonin production. You might feel tired, you might close your eyes, but biologically, your brain is confused. It is in a state of suspended animation. You fall into a shallow, fragmented sleep. The cleaning doors don't open fully. The wash cycle is weak. It's not just about the light. It's about the content. The dopamine hits from the news, the likes, the videos, they keep your cortisol levels high. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and it is the direct enemy of sleep. You are pressing the gas pedal and the brake at the same time, and your engine is overheating. So, how do we reclaim our night? You don't need expensive pills. You need a protocol. Top performance coaches use the 10-3-2-1 method to prepare the brain for the wash cycle. 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. Give your body time to clear the adenosine receptors. 3 hours before bed, no more food or alcohol. Digestion requires massive energy. If your body is digesting a heavy meal, it cannot focus on cleaning the brain. You want the blood in your head, not your stomach. 2 hours before bed, no more work. Write down your to-do list for tomorrow, and then close the laptop. Clear the mental RAM. And finally, the most important rule. 1 hour before bed, No screens. 0. Dim the lights in your house. Switch to warm, orange lamps. Lower the temperature of your room. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate sleep. Create a sanctuary. When you lie down, don't think of it as shutting off. Think of it as checking into a clinic. Think of the fluid rushing through your cells. Visualize a cleaning. By respecting this biology, you aren't just sleeping better. You are actively building a stronger, faster, and cleaner brain. You are protecting your memories. You are investing in your own longevity. In a world that shouts at you to grind, to hustle, and to stay awake, the most rebellious act you can do is to sleep. Sleep is the bridge between despair and hope. It is the Swiss Army knife of health. Tonight, when the sun goes down, remember the hidden ocean inside your skull waiting to do its work. Put the phone away. Close your eyes. And let the cleaners in. Because a clean brain is not just a healthy brain. It is a limitless one. Sweet dreams.